Welcome, y'all, to the Bartlett Chamber podcast, the heartbeat of Bartlett. I'm Terry McLendon, Director of Membership with the Bartlett Chamber, and my co-host, Maria McLendon with First South. And then our guest today is Chris Price with Metro Builders.
So, God bless America.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for joining us. We're super excited. We've got a great podcast for you today. So, Maria, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I do. So I want to share a little bit about what this podcast is about. The heartbeat of Bartlett is about the small business community in the Bartlett and the surrounding area because, of course, small businesses are the heartbeat of any community. And our guest today is a wonderful friend of mine and is super awesome. And he's in the business. So he knows all about small businesses. He knows all about entrepreneurship. And I'm very excited for everybody to get to meet him.
God bless America.
Chris, will you introduce?
What's happening?
Will you introduce yourself, please?
Oh my, Chris Price, Metro Builders. I've done a few things around town, raised quite a bit of money, been a part of a lot of organizations that raised a lot of money and participated in the community. And man, Metro Builders is the newest venture and not a new company. It's a 28-year-old company now and bought it a couple years ago, started running it back in May of 2000. And man, business is good.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit, so you're not from the Memphis area originally?
Oh, I was born and raised here.
You were? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you currently live in Florida.
My primary residence is in Florida.
So tell us your entrepreneurial journey in Memphis and what brought you full circle back home.
So, basically, I started in business when I was in high school, and I was actually in Florida at the time. Young, I moved down there, followed my dad, and I lived there, and moved back when I bought a Ford store in McLendon, little sleepy Ford store on Navy Road.
Some of you
That's
might
where I
remember
met you.
Price Ford.
Price Ford, God
And
bless
I
America.
was your Ford rep.
That's right.
Call me. You were one of the youngest Ford dealers at the time. Is that correct?
Leo Cumberlich, the godfather of Ford Motor
That's
Company, right?
I know Leo well.
And ended up in Memphis, and he was the godfather of Ford in Memphis for the Memphis region for quite some time.
Forever, yeah.
But he told me I was the second youngest at the time. In 2001, I was the second youngest non-generational Ford dealer at 27 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible to take on so having worked for Ford Motor Company, understanding what it takes to get a franchise agreement with Ford Motor Company, that is no small feat.
Leo signed me in, of all people.
To have accomplished that, and I was your Ford rep.
You were. My favorite Ford rep, still today.
Pay him to say that, but yeah.
And how
Nothing
long did
against
you,
Krista
how
or
long were
Marty.
you there? How long did you have that for?
Eight years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they keep the name after you left?
No, I sold it to Homer, and he quickly put that in. But we started out on Navy Road. That building was built sometime in the 50s.
Right.
It was old and pretty beat up by that point. That was, almost 50 years later. And we moved it out, bought 40 acres and moved it out, built a new facility on the highway where it sits today.
Okay. And it's a beautiful facility. Yeah, it really. It was, state of the art.
Rose Construction built that for us. That was before Paul Rose was a senator.
And you've always been the consummate marketer. You've said your catchphrase already, but you came up with "Call me, call me, call me."
Somebody shared that with me. That was actually Trapper John from Kicks 106 at the time.
Oh, okay.
And he said something, and it morphed into this "Call me, call me, call me." And it stuck. So that's the branding is everything in any business, right?
Right, and selling cars like selling cars like candy bars.
Selling cars like candy bars. I still haven't come up with one for a roof yet. You got to come up with something.
We got to come up with something. Yeah. Well, talk a little bit more about. So you said you started in the entrepreneurial business when you were in high school. Talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey.
So, I don't know. It's just something that was built into me from a young age, but I started a little detail shop and had a couple friends from high school that came during the summers and we detailed cars. My dad was at a big dealership in Clearwater, Florida, and he'd funnel some cars to us and we were out there detailing cars, but I just always had that spirit. But I don't know where it is. We go on. We imported and exported reptiles in college. That's a new one. You never knew that.
I did not know that.
I bet there's some good stories on that one.
So we've done a lot of different things. I was reselling live rock and importing and exporting reptiles with another friend of mine that had a CITES license at the time. And I don't know. I've always had a spirit to get out and hustle and make a good living.
Yeah.
What's your favorite entrepreneurial thing that you started or have done?
Man, I love all of
Because
them.
it sounds like you've done so many.
I have. I love all of them. The Ford store was definitely a special place in my heart. There was a lot of great people along the way. Millington's a great town, and what a growing town. There's a lot of people to give credit to. Terry Jones and Terry Rowland has done a great job economic development out there too. So it's growing a lot. But there's a lot of great things and great people that I've met along the way. That's been really cool.
I feel like I could answer that question for you. The entrepreneurial venture that you like the most is the one that you're in right now.
And I
There
got,
you go.
it's,
That's a good
it's
answer.
funny because it's hard not to say that, but I'm going, that's something
Well,
that,
the reptile
but it
one
absolutely
sounded so
is.
interesting. So
The reptiles are cool too. And at a retirement, I'll never retire,
Right.
but at a retirement age, I may have some more snakes and iguanas. And we were in Miami last week and man, it's overrun with iguanas. They're huge. They're everywhere, but I just, they all have been really cool ventures and I loved them while I was in them. And we just keep on moving. But Metro Builders is definitely, it stole my heart, and we're 28 years old this year, and BBB accredited since 1996. So again, I just keep building.
So talk to us a little bit about Metro Builders.
So Metro Builders, we're basically a general contracting, roofing, and restoration company. We do a ton of insurance work, restoration, so water pipes busting, storm damage on roofs. We do a little bit of everything, but we really specialize in that insurance contracting segment, and we've got a lot of experience, thousands of insurance claims. And
I bet you were busy just recently.
Right now because they don't just come and go.
That's very
It's
true.
that's 4 months worth of work or 4 months of work in process.
Right. It doesn't all get done at one time either.
That's right. And some carriers are want to come in and indemnify the customer, and then some carriers don't. And we've got public adjusters that work for us, and we just work through the process.
Wow.
But, the average person has 1 or 2 claims in their life, and we work on them nonstop. But we represent policyholders on their projects for their home or business, and we just keep on going.
Well,
Awesome.
my family is a Metro Builders customer.
Yes, you are.
We
You had your roof done, didn't you?
We did. We bought a new home, and we bought the home in April and didn't move in until June. And by the time in that 2-month window, there was storm damage.
Oh,
and so we needed to, because we did all of the appraisals ahead of time and everything came back great. And then storm damage, and we have to have the whole roof replaced. Fortunately, I had still had Chris's phone number memorized. So I called him and I'm like, are you still in the roofing business? And he's like, what are you doing?
What are you thinking? All you got to do is look at Facebook. Like you can watch my travels because we have an office here. That's where it was founded in Memphis, and then we have an office in Tarpon Springs, Florida as well.
Oh, wow.
So I fly back and forth, and you can watch my travels on Facebook.
Well, I called you on a Tuesday, and I had a new roof by Friday.
Yeah,
and that's because there was a rain delay.
that's right.
That's right.
That's exactly
and
right.
I'm telling you, Chris and his partner Randy were
Payton.
at Randy Payton.
Yeah.
One of the two of them was at my house at least 3 times a day to check on the progress. They made me feel like I was their only customer, but I know I wasn't their only customer.
Yeah, we have project managers that are on site, and we work through the process. And we have projects on residential roofs that we do. We have 21 crew members up on a roof, and we have some that are 5 or 6. It just depends on the size. But we've got 70 plus crew members that are out working on any given day.
What's your favorite, or do you have a favorite restoration or funniest story on a restoration that you want to share with us?
You can't make this stuff up.
Right,
That's
exactly.
a Teresa Price thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stories that, funny stories, man. I don't know. When it comes to roofing, you don't want funny stories.
No, that's true.
Because they're really not funny.
That's very true.
Yeah, but we're OSHA certified.
Okay.
Everybody's using all the good safety techniques and strapped in, especially on Maria's roof. She's got it's like a mansard. You just hang on for dear life, right?
On the edge of the cliff.
Chris removed a rodent for me
I did.
when my roof was
I don't
being
know what
repaired.
happened.
Oh.
I don't know what happened.
So one of the other things, I like so much about you, Chris Price. You're one of my favorite people. But one of the other things that I really, really like about you is that you are a longtime member of First South Financial.
We are actually 2002.
Well, can I give a quick little plug for First South?
Absolutely.
So when you've got roofing and restoration projects,
HELOCs.
that's right.
Yeah.
So First South Financial offers a home equity line of credit.
That's right.
And we've got a promotion right now where you can get 1.99% for 6 months. And that's really, it is the most inexpensive way to access credit. And you can use your home values are at an all-time high right now. So you can access all of that equity in your home to do a roofing or a restoration project. And then you could even potentially get a tax deduction for the interest because and then it improves the value of your home as well. So it's win, 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 win.
Well, there's more wins too because the people are outstanding. I mean, people like Jerry Hensley, who works really hard to make sure that clients are taken care of. And, you'll talk about my entrepreneurial spirit. One of the things that I pride myself on is I take care of customers. If there's an issue, I'm there. I've had people tell me, why do you run at problems? Well, it's the only way that I see to do it because whenever you run at them, it's you take care of them. There's never a perfect situation that comes up. And when there's issues or it falters, some people like to hide and I just don't. And it's in my people too. It's just whenever I'm hiring and as we're working, those are the guys and gals that really, grab hold and work alongside of me because I'm just a customer. I'm a customer advocate. Yeah. But going back to Jerry Hensley, he's the same way. I mean, he does a good job. He works hard. He's got a great group of people around him, and he's really assisted us. And, in business, you have to have great banking relationships. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've learned is that First South has really done a good job at cultivating a local business. And whenever I signed up with them, I mean, they were local, Craig Israel, and they were local, and we had a branch in McLendon, and that's why we joined. I mean, that's just, that's just where it was. I don't remember what drew me, but it's been a great experience for a long, long time.
When we look at that relationship, we are your partner. And we will do everything that we possibly can in order to meet your needs. We'll figure it out.
And it absolutely shows through.
Aw, thank you.
It shows through.
All right, well, let's get back to small business and entrepreneurship. So can you talk a little bit about what you've learned along the way in terms of starting a small business, and what tips do you have for people who are looking to start a new venture?
The biggest thing is, there's the hustle piece, but never give up. You have to go at it. You have to have a good plan. You have to have that plan has to incorporate. I'm a very conservative guy, and controlling expenses. And when I bought the Ford store in McLendon and it was off the beaten path, we had to run very tight. And it was it's a automotive industry is a very expensive business, and it's parts and body shop and service and sales. And, there's 5 fingers to that deal. And I learned at that point was really where the budgeting and really creating a really tight budget and running. But you can never give up. You have to constantly get up. You have to constantly look at your goals and focus. And that plan has to include all those pieces. You got to go into it with reality and realistic expectations. And most people, there's a saying, they say most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they way underestimate what they can do in 10 years or 5 years.
I had not heard that one.
I mean, it's just, and it's true. You stick at something, no matter what it is, whether it's business or anything else in life, you stick at it, we manifest everything that we do and become. We are who we envision ourselves to be. That's who we are. Look at Maria. I mean, she's a very good manifester, right?
I am a manifestor.
She's the energizer. They say I'm the energizer bunny. She's the energizer
forever,
bunny. Yeah. She's everywhere. Look at her Facebook. Holy cow.
Well, how old did you say you were when you started your very first entrepreneurial?
Probably 15 or 16. I may have been 15. I don't think I had my license yet. So
with everything that you know now, what would you like to have told yourself at that age?
I would have probably been a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
I mean, I talk about the budgeting and everything else, but the thing is as you work through it, once you've got that first 2-3 years, I mean, you can run at it. It's easy to get hung up with, the fear, because we all
Yeah.
have fear. It's easy to get hung up with the fear. That's why I say you got to have those goals. You got to look at them every day, and you constantly have to keep pushing towards them as long as you keep your eyes there. I heard a story. I think it was Tony Robbins that told a story about he learned how to drive a race car. And it's very similar. So he gets in a race car, and they got two controls, and the race car driver's on one side and Tony's on the other, and they're racing around this track. And he says, okay, I'm going to hit the emergency brake at some point, and you're going to have to steer us out of it, right? So he says, the one thing I'll warn you is, he says, the one thing I warn you is that these telephone poles, or these poles that line up around, he says, if you focus on the pole, you're going to hit the pole.
Right.
So when I hit it, just make sure you're looking where you want to go, not at where you don't want to. And
That
a lot
is
of
so
times,
good.
you get hung up on where you don't want to go.
So when you're talking about never give up and, focus on where you want to go versus where you don't want to go, I see that in you all the time. And I just want to comment on like how you're a problem solver, because in business, in life, in anything, nothing goes according to plan.
Never.
And there's always challenges that you're faced with. But I think one of the things that you've done an excellent job of is kind of facing those challenges head on, and then saying, like, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop what we're doing. Let's figure it out.
And
Let's
keep
figure
moving.
it out
That's
and
it.
pivot.
Because again, I've got my eye focused on that goal.
Yeah.
And there are times in my life where I let it focus on where I didn't want to go, and it leads you down that path. And the minute that you regroup it, though, you're right back on, and you just keep pushing ahead.
Yeah. So what's on the horizon?
Man, I don't know, 10 realistically, 9 or 10 contracting offices between here and maybe even South Florida. I think our next stop's probably going to be Nashville.
Awesome.
That would
So,
be awesome.
they've had a ton of growth there, and, there's a lot of people there that want to do it, but we've got the experience, and I've got, as we go, a lot of these people are going to come out of the Mid-South. So, I have help wanted ads that I run, and I talk about the things that I've done in the past, and I grab a hold, I ride with these guys, no matter what position they're in. I spend a lot of time with them because I care about the quality that we produce, and I care to make sure that, every last piece of flashing is done correctly. And if it's done incorrectly, we go back and rip it all out and redo it again. It happens.
I think
that quality.
I think that's a remarkable characteristic of real leadership, of genuine leadership. Do you have any, can you share some leaders who've inspired you or role models that have?
Lately, I am a Tony Robbins guy. I think that you have to constantly be putting positive things in your head. So I listen to Tony almost daily. But like Elon Musk, I think he's probably a little on the spectrum, and he's probably a little overboard, right?
Yeah.
Very smart,
But he's a super, he shows that when the focus is on the end goal, even though
can do it.
within 2 days of him releasing his book, I think it was the beginning of October, I'd read the book, and it took me 3 days, and I read the whole book. Yeah, it was. And I'm a big reader too. I read 50.
What are some of? I was about to say, what are some of your books? Because reading is so critical.
I just keep going
Staying on
one
top
to the
of
next
things.
to the next.
Okay.
There's
Your
Your
nonfiction
favorite?
Buy Then Build. I think it's Walker Deeble.
Okay.
There's a lot. It just depends on what it is. The other thing about Elon, though, too, that's super interesting to me is, look, that guy was his own rocket engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He became his own rocket
Yeah.
engineer. He didn't know anything about it. He became it because he went out and he tried to recruit engineers, and they were all working for other agencies around the globe, and they thought it was a joke. They thought he would never make it. But look at what the guy sends a rocket up and puts it back down, not on the ground, on
a moving
a moving boat, like a barge. Like
Crazy.
it's crazy. And
But that's the kind of innovation you need to change the world.
It is.
Like if you think about what can be done, then you're only going to do the same thing. But if you have innovation,
we manifest everything
Yeah.
that happens here.
Yeah.
Everything is doable.
everything is
It's
possible.
just a matter of how to get there and not giving up and not caving.
staying that course.
He
that
could have quit it many
consistency.
times. He could have quit after he couldn't get a rocket engineer to come to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love it. So we love having you as a part of the chamber, the Bartlett Chamber. And is there anything in particular that you like as far as being a part of the Bartlett Chamber, or
I love John Threadgill. I mean, that's number one, right? I mean, what else, right? I mean, what else is there not to love about John? John has done a great job. I was involved in the McLendon Chamber very heavily there when he came on in Bartlett. And he's been around for a long time. He's done a great job. I mean, the whole community has done a great job. I've said many times over, no offense to Mike Wisman, but I think that Mayor McDonald has been the best mayor in Shelby County for a long, long time. And he did a really good job. Keith's a very consistent guy that is has stayed very active and is type A personality. He drives. I mean, he just continues on too. Another one that has goals and stays with them, right?
Shared characteristic with you, he focuses on people.
Yeah.
Like he really cares about, I mean, one of the things that made him such an excellent mayor is that he really cared about the people that he served.
That's
and
right.
he looked at it as a position of service, not one of benefit to himself.
That's right. And I mean, he did a great job, you know. Parsons, David has come in. I mean, he's got big shoes to fill, and I'm sure he'll live up to them. He's been around a long time too. And you know, there's my grandparents built a house out at Old Brownsville Road, Germantown and Old Brownsville Road back in the mid '80s. So the relationships go way back in that whole area too, in that side of town. But they've done a great job. Bartlett's an awesome community, and it actually was the first chamber with Metro. It's the first chamber we joined.
Very nice.
Very nice that you joined the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce. That's awesome.
Right.
So in your long years of hustle, I bet you've had the opportunity to experience things that you never thought that you'd ever be able to experience. Can you tell us a couple of really cool stories that have stuck with you?
One of them is I took Maria on a ride in a Ford GT back in probably 2004 or 5, 6.
We opened that thing up, and like
You're not supposed to say that on
I
TV.
was going to say.
And we opened it up and we did like 38 miles an hour.
Right.
Mayor Jones wasn't fast at all. I think Mayor Jones may have been in that car too. We did 38 then too.
We got back to the dealership and told Teresa, and she looked at both of us and said, "You guys have children."
That's right. Yeah.
38's a little bit too fast.
Yeah. You got to slow down, keep it under 30. But that was an awesome car. I mean, there was,
awesome.
There's been a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I don't know if you were with us with Hal Fader in Napa Valley and the balloon rides. I mean, we've done tons of stuff. Like there's, you just keep working and opportunity presents itself. And those were Ford trips, right?
Yep.
And, my general sales manager, we sent him and his wife, Shane and Kay, to Italy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Any exciting adventures coming up or anything that you're really looking forward to this next
So
year?
Teresa's literally half Italian, half German, and we're going to go to Italy.
Okay.
I just got to get her. I may have to knock her out to get on the plane to ride over.
Well, it's too bad you didn't do the Chambers Travel with the Chamber. They're going to Tuscany next week. So actually on the 19th. So
I couldn't. Teresa's a principal of elementary school. She's like
kind of hard to take off.
Yeah.
She's locked down. But Teresa served on the Shelby County School Board it was pre-merger, which was awesome. I mean, we've done a lot of really cool stuff, and I think a lot of the community service definitely has been. It's been a highlight as well. That's awesome. Giving back. That's really where we're at, and we like to give back.
I love
talk
that.
Talk a little bit about your community service. Talk about some of the philanthropic organizations that have meant a lot to you over the years.
I don't know how it worked out, but I ended up the chairman of the Shelby County Schools Education Foundation through the merger and demerger, and so that was cool. And I think I was chairman there for 4 years maybe. And we raised money it was a whole transition. We took it from, raising money for education, which my heart, Teresa and I both, is law enforcement and education. Yeah. Obviously Teresa being an educator and a great educator and doing a lot there too. But we love serving. Yeah. The organizations, though, Shelby County Schools Education Foundation, Memphis it ended up being Memphis Shelby County Law Enforcement Foundation, but it started out as Memphis Police Foundation. David Pickler and I founded the Houston High School Athletics and Arts Foundation and put the new turf field and the the Field House, and that organization is thriving too. And we've done a lot. Like I forget most of it.
Yeah, because you love your community.
Yeah. Right.
All right, well, we're getting close to the end of our conversation, which I can't even believe, like 30 minutes went by so
Crazy.
fast.
Y'all got me talking.
You're awesome.
That was our plan.
Chris, you are awesome. So once again, look at the camera and tell us what Metro Builders does and how people can find you.
Metro Builders, we're actually located on Highway 64, and we service the Mid-South. We do roofing and restoration. We actually do a lot of additions as well, 370 to 420 square feet additions to homes that typically includes master bedroom and bathroom. We do a ton of renovations. I've got a couple guys that are dedicated to doing kitchen and bath remodels. I have invested in a lot of real estate, and we'll flip those as well. But you really, we get in and out. We on insurance claims, we assist based on our thousands of claims experience that we've dealt with over the past many years. And if you have a claim and are having issues and need photos and documentation from a contractor that understands insurance, you want to call me.
Call
him. Give us that number and an email or website address.
So go to the website. It's metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com. And you can call me at 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
And I'll tell you that you absolutely should, because we are very, very happy customers of Metro Builders, and I think we have like 2 or 3 projects already on deck for continued improvement. So, Chris, it has been a pleasure knowing you for all the years that I have known you.
Same here.
I can't wait to see what other adventures we come up with together over the years to come. So
that's awesome.
Feeling
is mutual.
Thank you so much for being a guest on the Heartbeat of Bartlett.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank y'all so very, very much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on that bell and
ring a ding ding.
Ring a ding ding, as
and we want to
Maria likes to say.
We want to give a shout out to V2 Media, who makes this podcast possible. This is their gorgeous studio, and without the wonderful team here, we wouldn't even be able to get it done. So thank you, V2 Media. We appreciate you very, very much.
See y'all next time.